Okay. I'm gonna grab some water.
I was really excited to come back and do, I guess, an alternate race. I was excited just to get back out there and get into that wildlife headspace that is ultra racing, because it's so different than any other sort of events that we do.
Everyone seems to think I'm like a veteran at these things. I've done one. And it was like 14 months ago, maybe more. So I'm a little rusty. The handy cam. There's no easy way to carry the handy cam.
The context of this year has been so strange. Like, having no racing, it just means you spend a lot more time just sort of very regular routine. Probably the most routine I've ever had in my life. So I miss the chaos of it. So that definitely has changed me mentally.
Biscuits are good, I reckon. I reckon biscuits could be the key to this whole event. I don't know if I need 2 rolls. I'm kind of going with you have a lot more fun if you're at the ease of mind, you know? So, just, it's a little harder on the hills, but it's a lot easier on the brain. I've got an eye mask. It's pretty luxurious, isn't it? Just the idea of like tucking up on the side of the road, pull the eye mask on, you're like, it's sleep time, baby. We're here at the Badlands Cycling Classic. It's a 720 kilometre unsupported gravel bike race across southern Spain. Starts in Granada, finishes in Granada. Goes up to 3,000 metres, goes to the sea, goes across the only official desert in Central Europe. It's a beast. It's a big few days of riding. It starts tomorrow. So we're all packed up, ready to go. Currently it looks like I'm racing the Giro that starts in about 3.5 weeks. I always find that when I go to like my absolute limit, it like helps with perspective. It's really important when it comes to like long stints of road racing. It's an unconventional approach, I guess, to train for a Grand Tour, but for me, I think it'll work really well. We'll see. It might not work at all. I've been training with my mate Haver in Girona. He's decided to come and race, which is awesome.
I was trying to like pass on some tips, and we've been training together a lot this last month. And before that, we hadn't really had much to do with each other, except for when I rolled him in Utah last year.
Lachlan Morton, very tactically savvy, getting the jump through that corner and all of the turns between there and the finish. Hayden McCormick looking for a place to come around, throws the bike, and Morton takes it by a whisker.
I think we kind of bonded through that experience because like, he knows and I know he should have beaten me that day.
Well, time to race. Rolling out. Have fun, mate. Yeah, it should be good. My ideal would be that when I get tired, a hotel magically appears on the side of the road. I pull in and says, yeah, we've got plenty of room and we're expecting you and we cooked this delicious meal. Do you want me to do your washing while you're having a little sleep? You're like, oh, actually, do you know what? Breakfast starts at 4 a.m, so that'll be fine. What are we, about 20, 30 k's in? 20. Something like that. Still got a pretty big group. Still in the honeymoon phase. So far, so good. I think it's gonna get real pretty soon. Still got Hayden just cruising around back there somewhere. Yeah, took a bit.
Yeah, the camcorder did not make it. the camera recorder got dropped and broken. So it was one of those moments like, all right, this is getting real. And then my dad's voice popped in through my headphones.
Hello, Lucky. Hello, Lucky, you there?
I was like, hey Dad, what's going on? Like, I was like, oh, nothing's wrong. I mean, except for the fact that I'm like walking around somewhere in the middle of the Spanish desert and trying to navigate like a half-long cliff. Apart from that, then there's nothing particularly wrong. I thought he called me, but it turns out I'd called him accidentally, because there's like some function on your phone where people can call your emergency contact, and this had all happened in my pocket. So I showed him I was like fine, and then sort of said, oh, I'm going to get on with it. And then I kept walking, and then I was like, oh, I'd like to put music back on. Pulled my phone out, and it just had the like, hello. I honestly, I looked at it, and I just put it back in my pocket, and I was like, there's no more phone. Well, that kind of simplifies that. You know, like, that means no music. Now it's just me, my bike, and my Garmin. Yeah, so Hayden, we came to the race together because we started and we were both kind of pushing the pace together. And there's a few other guys in there, kind of lit it up early. Then we were sort of like just pushing each other. I'm not sure where, at some point he dropped back, I was alone. And at the time, like, I kind of wanted to be alone because that's sort of why I was here. I wanted to be out there by myself.
Just cruising. But yeah, I'm in a bad place actually. I've actually just put my buff on my ass because I'm so chafed up. Like yeah.
Riding at night is weird. It's nothing like riding at day. I mean, you've got like your bike light and your head torch, and that's all that really exists. So you just have this small window of like what your reality is, and then the rest is just filled up with your brain and your thoughts.
I decided to keep riding because I was just curious to see what would happen, because I find it really fascinating when you like push into like a realm that you never have before. At a certain point, like the riding became like the normal state. You know, like if you're sitting on your couch and you consider that normal, it's like, all right, that's just regular riding. And then a hill, it's a little bit more inconvenient. It's like, okay, now I've got to stand up. But then when you just go back to riding, it's just kind of like regular state. In that regard, like mentally, it just became sort of just having some me time.
Actually, tomorrow is today. Today sucks. Bikepacking sucks. I actually enjoyed today. Talking shit because I'm tired.
For whatever reason, I didn't know what time the sun came up, and I just thought, I was like, oh, it'll come up at about 6. Anyone who's ridden through the night will know it's a massive relief. And so I got to these towns quite a bit earlier than I thought, and they were all still closed and it was still dark. So that was probably my one low moment. There were just sections that would just divert you onto the beach for like a quick little like 500-meter beach walk, and like impossible to ride. So you just sort of trudge through the sand. And at this point I was getting hungry and like I was just ready to be there. And I was riding through town and I was like, I don't know if I have enough food. And then so I just stopped and bought just a big baguette with nothing on it, just a whole baguette. And then I didn't think that through either, because I was like, well, where am I going to put these things? So we started up this brutal climb out of Almeria, and it was so hot that... Oh, you're good. Yeah. What else happened out there? Then, okay, so then going into the afternoon of the second day, I started to notice like a few weird things. I was kind of riding along, and then they're like, oh, there's a guy up there, like on the side of the hill or something. Like, how do you get there? And they'd be like, oh, no, that's not a guy, it's just a rock. Man, the last 200 Ks of that course were just brutal. It's just so much climbing and just steep, like really, really steep stuff.
I'm at, I'm 9K from the top of the highest point in Europe, and I'm game over.
Then it started to get dark, and then things got weird. Like time started to go just impossibly slow. I don't know how to explain it, but I was riding up this hill for like, I felt like I'd been on this hill for like 10 hours. Like it felt like it was the duration of the rest of the race, and I was going up this hill, and because it's dark, it just looks the same. And I was like, I feel like I'm just stuck in this one moment of time. I'd look at the Garmin and be like, what, is this thing broken? And I stopped to change my headlamp, and I looked up and I was like, man, there are some stars out tonight. Like, I was like, I've never seen this many stars in my life. Like, it must be so clear. And then I was looking closer and I was like, it's an impossible amount of stars. Like, that's way too many stars. Like, in my head, the sky became like a ceiling. Like it was actually, and it was quite low to where I felt like the sky was like this fake ceiling, like just above my head. And I was like, all right, this is like when you're starting to lose your mind.
Oh. Holy.
And I felt like I was stuck in a loop. Like I kept coming around the corner and being like, I just did that. And then I'd look and be like, that's the exact same corner. I felt like I was in like a loop, like I was descending through a wormhole or something and being popped back out.
You have to understand how things are up here.
It's okay.
Well done.
Alright guys,
See you.
I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Later.
You're welcome.
I love that. Yeah, all those trees came alive and I thought there was like 3 people standing behind that pole there. Totally cooked, man. I was fully hallucinating for like the last 4 hours. Halfway up that big mountain, I thought, I was like, oh, I've put myself in a bad situation here. When like everything started to like crawl, and like I was like everything, all the rocks on the side of the trail were all like they kept turning into like suitcases. Like everyone had their suitcases on the trail. That last climb in the dark, it was pretty legit. I think there's a washing machine up there.
Yeah, so as of now, the Giro is about 3 weeks away. I tried not to think about it. Well, actually I didn't think about it once during the whole race because I was just sort of focused on doing this and getting the most out of it. But then I woke up this morning and I felt so bad, you know, just so much pain. Like it was pain to just like slightly move in bed, and I was like, "Ooh, I did a real number on myself these last 2 days." My body is pretty worked, so now I've got to go through the process of trying to work out how to like recover from this, but simultaneously get ready for the Giro. So that's going to be a pretty wild challenge, but it'd be cool. I mean, it can't be much harder than that, right?
Oh man, my bad. So I've had a hard couple of like days though. Like, bro, so when you're riding, right at the last downhill without the shoes on,
My feet were just way too sore, man. I can't walk, bro. Like, honestly. I mean, I did another day, didn't you remember? Like, the pause, man. Like, there's... That's not... I hate all these dried apricots. It didn't end well in Almeria, man. And I had to go up there. I had to go up that climb, and then my fucking seat post broke, and I was just like, this sucks.
It makes me so satisfied to see someone who is more broken than I was.
And I just
Sucks riding on the low beams at night.
oh, bro, straining on the eyes.
You're like,
Mate,
you feel like you're going a million k's an hour and you're going like 15k an hour down a hill. Like,